Right now, Denver police need your help to find this vehicle involved in a hit-and-run crash that seriously hurt a pedestrian. This happened on Tuesday around 8:30 at the intersection of Colfax and Verbena, a few blocks west of Yosemite. Officials say they are looking for a black Nissan Rogue with silver alloy wheels, and there may be some damage on the passenger side. Anyone who has information is asked to call Crime Stoppers.
Also right now, Boulder police need your help to find this man accused of attacking a bicyclist with a hockey stick. This happened last night around 7 o'clock near 27th Way in Baseline. Officials say the suspect, who was on rollerblades and wearing a ski mask, came up from behind and assaulted the victim both verbally and physically. The suspect was last seen wearing all black clothes and carrying a green Gatorade bottle with an orange top. If you know anything, you're asked to call Boulder police.
School is expected to resume in just a couple of hours at Meadow Community School in Thornton, the same school where a teacher was stabbed several times Thursday afternoon. 9 News reporter Brianna Fernandez joins us live in Thornton with the latest details. Brianna, thankfully that teacher is expected to survive.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So this all unfolded just after 3 p.m. So you have to imagine this is a time where it was dismissal time. So students and staff, they were leaving the school, and this all unfolded right here where you're seeing the basketball courts over my shoulder. Not only that, but then parents were also picking up their kids. So Thornton police say that they've arrested 31-year-old Damian Brooks for stabbing a male teacher at the school just off Monroe Street. So this happened again near the basketball courts and playground area. The teacher was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay. 9 News confirmed the suspect lives directly across the street from the corner where this all unfolded. A 6th grade student who saw this all unfold also told us that the teacher and the suspect were arguing before Brooks walked back across the street into his house and came back out with a knife and stabbed the teacher multiple times. Neighbors also mentioned the police have been called to the suspect's house frequently. We have also confirmed that Brooks has extensive criminal history, in one case serving time in prison for assault charges. Now back out here live, Thornton police investigators, they say that this was unprovoked and there's no relationship between the two, so between the suspect and the teacher. This morning I have reached out to the school district for a statement because we know that school is expected to resume here in just a couple of hours. I've also reached out to Thornton police just to see if they have any new updates for us. For now, I'm live here in Thornton. Brianna Fernandez for 9 News.
All right, Brianna, thank you. CPW may be moving ahead with plans to bring more wolves to the state even after federal officials set to stop. Documents obtained by 9 News Investigates show CPW signed a $400,000 deal with British Columbia to capture up to 15 wolves for Colorado. But the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service sent a cease and desist letter ordering CPW to stop any imports from outside approved areas. The contract calls for captures between December and April. CPW already imported 15 wolves earlier this year. Several have since died.
The Populous Hotel in downtown Denver made Michelin's list of the very best hotels in the U.S., but this summer, Denver public health inspectors took notice of something else. The city's health department fined the hotel 4 times, totaling $1,750 for pest control violations. Inspection reports obtained by 9 News show complaints about fruit flies and other winged insects in areas away from food service. The city says there was never a serious health risk, and the hotel's manager says the issue has been resolved.
The NBA is bracing for fallout after 2 big names were swept up in a massive gambling scandal. That includes Colorado native Chauncey Billups, whose lawyers are categorically denying the charges against him. The Portland Trail Blazers head coach was arrested yesterday, along with more than 30 others accused of helping rig high-stakes poker games connected to mafia crime families. Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier faces separate charges, accused of using inside information about NBA players to influence bets. And former player and coach Damon Jones is also named in both schemes. Chauncey Billups' attorney gave a statement to ESPN late yesterday saying, quote, Chauncey Billups has never and would never gamble on basketball games, provide insider information, or sacrifice the trust of his team and the league, as it would tarnish the game he has devoted his entire life to. His attorney also said that they are going to fight the allegations and they look forward to their day in court. The FBI says more charges could follow as the investigation grows. The NBA says it's fully cooperating with federal authorities and that its top priority is maintaining fans' trust in the sport. Democratic Attorney General Phil Weiser is calling for Colorado to redraw its congressional maps to favor Democrats. That is, if Republicans follow President Trump's direction to create more GOP seats in red states.
Colorado's congressional delegation is currently split between 4 Democrats and 4 Republicans. Weiser says Colorado is bluer than that, and there is a way to redraw maps to reflect that without boxing out the minority party almost entirely, as is being suggested in some red states.
The Democratic majority with 4-4 in Congress looks like we're, how should we say it, leaving a lot on the table. We're actually bending over backwards to be super fair. And even if we go reasonable, it's going to be more of a blue state. The question that you're pushing is, how far do we go? And I agree with your point. We could go too far. I don't want to go too far, but I want us to be reasonable about it. And the key difference right now is, do we do a mid-cycle redistricting or not? I say yes, because others are doing it.
Weiser is calling for Coloradans to support a constitutional amendment in November of next year that would allow the Democrat-controlled legislature to draw the district lines for 2028 and 2030. The legislature would replace Colorado's voter-approved independent nonpartisan redistricting commission temporarily. Weiser would like the independent commission to resume its work past 2030.
Weiser's announcement comes as Virginia became the latest state to consider redrawing its congressional maps to favor one party. Democrats there are expected to call lawmakers back into session starting on Monday to redraw the state's congressional maps ahead of next year's midterms. It would take an amendment to Virginia's constitution to approve new maps. An amendment requires both chambers to approve the measure twice. That means lawmakers would need to vote on the proposal before the November 4th election. They would need to vote again in January. The amendment can then go before voters like in Texas and California. It comes one day after North Carolina's Republican-controlled legislature passed a new congressional map that aims to further boost the party ahead of next year's midterm elections.
This morning, President Trump is continuing his rhetoric against the nation of Canada. Trump says the U.S. has cut off trade talks with Canada over a TV ad. That ad was created by Canadian leaders and featured Ronald Reagan talking negatively about tariffs. Canadian leaders said they would pay money to air it in the U.S., but the Reagan Foundation is saying the video was altered without permission, and they're looking at legal action. President Trump took things one step further on social media, saying he is terminating trade negotiation with Canada over the ad. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney has not responded yet. There is a chance this is all a negotiating tactic from the White House. Canada and the U.S. have been negotiating tariffs for months, but they have not yet come to a deal.
6:09 this morning, we want to talk about your traffic impact drive. What you're seeing behind me, flashing lights, we've got a closure of westbound I-70 in the area of Lookout Mountain this morning. So this is really the best that we can see as far as the scene is concerned this morning along westbound I-70 near Lookout Mountain. This isn't, of course, on the main interstate, just off of it this hour. We don't have too many details on the crash, but again, we do know that westbound I-70 is closed coming in toward the Genesee area this hour. As far as when things are going to reopen, we don't have those details, but a workaround option for you is going to be westbound Highway 6.